You are sitting in a perfectly climate-controlled room. You have access to more calories than a medieval king, a device in your pocket that holds the sum of human knowledge, and a roof that protects you from the elements. By all historical metrics, you are entirely safe. Yet your chest feels tight, your breathing is shallow. At 3 in the morning, your mind races through a labyrinth of terrifying scenarios. An economic collapse, a quiet firing at work, an awkward conversation you had 3 years ago, or the subtle fear that you are falling behind an invisible timeline. You are not running from a predator in the wild, but your nervous system cannot tell the difference. You are experiencing the defining epidemic of the modern age. Anticipatory dread. You believe your anxiety is a byproduct of the modern world. You blame the endless notifications, the rising rent, or the terrifying uncertainty of tomorrow. But what if I told you that you aren't suffering from stress, but from a fundamental error of calculation? 2,000 years ago, Seneca, the Roman statesman who faced exile, political betrayal, and ultimately death, with a calm that baffled his executioners, wrote something that should be etched into the screen of your phone. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Most of us live our entire lives in a state of anticipatory grief. We mourn the job we haven't lost yet. We fear the heartbreak that hasn't happened. We agonize over the judgment of people who aren't even thinking about us. Your current toolkit for handling chaos is broken because it is fundamentally reactive. You are trying to catch the wind with an open hand, hoping that if you just worry enough, the wind will stop blowing. You think anxiety is a shield, but it is actually a poison you are feeding yourself drop by drop. In this deep dive, we are going to rebuild your mental architecture from the ground up. Using the official applied philosophical framework of New Acropolis and the rigorous, unapologetic logic of the ancient Stoics, we will forge 4 surgical tools. This isn't self-help. This isn't about positive thinking. This is the engineering of the soul. This is how you reclaim your life from the ghost of what if. Welcome to your survival kit. At the very core of Stoic practice lies a deceptively simple concept. It is the first lesson taught by Epictetus, a man who was born a slave, had his leg deliberately broken by his master, and yet emerged as one of the freest minds in human history. His handbook, the Enchiridion, opens with this absolute truth. Some things are within our power, and some things are not. In modern life, we collapse these two categories into one giant, suffocating mass of worry. When you check the news and feel a pang of existential dread, you are crossing the line. You cannot control the global economy. You cannot control the algorithms of social media. You cannot control the traffic, the weather, or the subtle shift in your manager's tone of voice. Yet, we spend 90% of our cognitive energy trying to manipulate the uncontrollable. Practical Stoicism begins with the 3-second filter. Whenever a thought of anguish arises, you must subject it to this filter before you allow it to take root. Ask yourself, is this under my direct absolute command? If the answer is no, the Stoic response is not just mild indifference, but a total, ruthless withdrawal of emotional investment. Think about the concept of the Stoic archer. An archer can control how tightly he strings his bow. He can control his stance, his breathing, and how carefully he aims the arrow. But the moment his fingers release the string, the arrow is no longer his. A sudden gust of wind could blow it off course. The target could move. The arrow could break. If the archer's happiness is tied to hitting the bullseye, an external outcome, he will live in constant anxiety. But if his happiness is tied to having shot the best possible arrow, an internal outcome, he is untouchable. At New Acropolis, we view this as building your internal fortress. If you place your happiness in things outside the walls, fame, wealth, the approval of strangers, or even your physical health, you are leaving your gates wide open for invaders. Anxiety is the sound of the enemy walking through your front door. By mastering the dichotomy of control, you slam the gates shut. You realize that your character, your choices, and your reactions are the only things that truly belong to you. Everything else is merely borrowed from fate. And fate can take it back at any moment without your permission. Let it go. Most people live inside a fragile, transparent bubble of hope. They hope the plane doesn't experience turbulence. They hope the client signs the contract. They hope they never get sick. But hope, when disconnected from reality, is the father of disappointment. When the bubble inevitably bursts, they collapse into a pile of panic and resentment. The Stoics did not rely on hope. They relied on preparation. They practiced the premeditation of evils. This is the art of negative visualization, and it is the exact opposite of what modern toxic positivity preaches. Every morning, while the world is still quiet, you must invite your monsters into the room. Sit down with them. Don't look away. Visualize the worst-case scenario. Imagine your laptop hard drive failing, erasing weeks of work. Imagine your partner walking out the door. Imagine waking up to a severe health crisis. This is not morbid pessimism. It is a tactical, psychological simulation. It is a vaccine. A vaccine introduces a small, dead piece of a virus into your body so your immune system can create antibodies. Negative visualization introduces a small dose of simulated tragedy into your mind so your soul can build resilience. Let us apply the "so what" technique. When you visualize a disaster, you must logically follow it to its ultimate conclusion. Let's say you are terrified of being fired. Play the tape forward. You are fired. So what? You will feel embarrassed. You will have to cut your expenses. You might have to move to a smaller apartment. You will have to interview again. Now ask yourself, is it the end of your ability to be a virtuous person? No. Is it the end of your ability to breathe, to think, to love your family? No. By deliberately deconstructing the disaster, you realize that most of our fears are paper tigers. They look terrifying from a distance, casting long shadows on the wall. But when you turn on the light, they have no teeth. When the actual chaotic event occurs in real life, the Stoic is the only one in the room who doesn't panic. While everyone else is screaming, "How could this happen?" The Stoic quietly says, "I have been expecting you. Let's get to work." This is the armor of the mind. You are no longer a victim of terrifying circumstances because you have already conquered those circumstances in the theater of your imagination. Anxiety is an illness of the micro. It is the direct result of holding a magnifying glass over a tiny, insignificant scratch until it looks like a bottomless canyon. When you are anxious about an upcoming deadline, that deadline becomes your entire universe. It blocks out the sun, the stars, and the thousands of years of human history that preceded you. The third tool in your kit is the view from above. This was the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius's favorite mental exercise. He would sit in his command tent at the freezing edges of the Roman frontier, surrounded by the brutal reality of war and plague. And he would mentally leave his body. Right now, wherever you are sitting, I want you to imagine yourself rising. Drift up to the ceiling of your room. Look down at yourself sitting there, staring at a screen. Now rise higher. See your house. See your street. See your city. Look at the millions of people below you, driving in cars, frantically rushing to meetings, arguing over money, crying over broken hearts. Now, zoom out further. See the continent. See the borders. Imaginary lines drawn in the dirt by men whose bones have long since turned to dust. See the earth, a pale blue dot suspended in a silent, freezing, indifferent vacuum. In the grand cosmic vastness of space and time, how heavy is the burden of your social reputation? How truly significant is the fact that your text message was left on read? From this height, humanity looks like a fleeting hive. We see empires rise and fall in the blink of an eye. We see people being born, fighting desperately for a promotion, and passing away, instantly swallowed by the river of time. This exercise is not meant to make you feel worthless. It is meant to make you feel light. The crushing weight you feel on your chest right now is not the weight of the world. It is the weight of your own ego. You secretly believe the universe revolves around your successes and failures. You think the world is watching you. It isn't. You think your mistakes are permanent stains on history. They aren't. Perspective is the ultimate cure for self-importance. By embracing your total insignificance on a cosmic scale, you reclaim your inner peace. You realize you are a small, temporary, but vital part of a great whole. You stop fighting the flow of time and simply learn to swim in it. The final tool is the most difficult to forge. Many people read about it, but very few actually master it. It is the tool that turns a mere survivor into an untouchable force of nature. It is the concept of Amor, Fati, the love of fate. Most people spend their entire lives in a permanent state of resistance against reality. They wake up and say, "It shouldn't be raining today. That driver shouldn't have cut me off. I shouldn't have gotten sick." This word, shouldn't, is the source of all human friction. It is the refusal to accept what is. Arguing with reality is like trying to fight an ocean current. You will exhaust yourself, and you will still drown. The Stoic philosophers used the metaphor of a dog tied to a moving cart. The cart is fate. It is moving forward regardless of what the dog wants. The dog has two choices. He can fight the leash, dig his paws into the dirt, and be dragged violently along the rough road, crying and bleeding. Or he can choose to trot alongside the cart, matching its pace. Both dogs go to the exact same destination, but only one enjoys the journey. Only one has freedom. Amor Fati is the leap from merely accepting reality to passionately loving it. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a strong fire consumes everything you throw into it. If you throw a bucket of trash onto a weak, flickering candle, the candle dies. But if you throw that exact same trash into a roaring furnace, the furnace doesn't just survive, it uses the trash as fuel to grow hotter and brighter. Your obstacles, your anxieties, your pain, these are not interruptions to your life story. They are your life story. When you lose a business deal, that is not a tragedy. That is your given fuel to practice resilience. When someone insults you, that is your given fuel to practice patience and emotional control. When you face a period of deep loneliness, that is your fuel to practice self-reliance and introspection. Stop wishing for a perfectly smooth life. A smooth, frictionless life creates a weak, fragile mind. The Stoic toolkit does not exist to help you hide from the fire. It exists to help you become the fire. When you truly learn to love your fate, anxiety becomes mathematically impossible. Because whatever happens to you, good or bad, fair or unfair, is exactly the raw material you needed to become the person you were meant to be. You now have the 4 tools: the dichotomy of control to filter the noise, the premeditation of evils to armor your mind, the view from above to shrink your ego, and Amor Fati to turn your pain into power. But philosophy is not a hobby. It is not an aesthetic. It is a way of life. Knowing these tools means absolutely nothing if you leave them on the shelf. If you feel the call to move beyond watching videos and truly master the art of living, you do not have to walk this path alone. New Acropolis is an international organization dedicated to the study of philosophy in the classical manner, not as a dry academic exercise, but as an applied, practical, and deeply transformative discipline. We provide the community, the rigorous structure, and the guidance to help you turn these ancient concepts into your modern reality. If you are ready to stop being dragged by the cart of fate and start building your internal fortress, explore our resources. Visit newacropolisusa.org or connect with our community on Instagram at newacropolisusa_Atlantic. The path to a quiet mind isn't found by changing the chaotic world around you. It is found by changing the architecture of the mind within you. The tools are in your hands. Start building.